Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Sent with Emphasis. I am sitting across the Astronomers right now. I'm very excited to have them here. Welcome you both.
Thanks for having us.
We're so excited to be here.
I'll give you guys the chance to introduce yourselves. So tell us who you are. Tell us your role in the band.
So I'm Ben. I'm the producer for the Astronomers and do a lot of like behind the scenes music business stuff for the group.
I'm Michael, singer-songwriter for the Astronomers, and I don't live with Ben, so we make sure we get everything done when we can, and we're here at Ben's house right now.
Absolutely. Guys, this is the first time I was telling them this. The first time that I've recorded in a studio that isn't in my college town and that isn't in a tiny closet in my home. So we're sitting in this nice living room. They're having like their band manager set everything up. And I'm like, this is awesome. I told them I think I'm just going to start recording here more. So I'm just going to show up. If you guys see me randomly, just ignore me. It's going to be fine.
Noted.
Yeah, we had to set the scene. I was like, we're here. We're at a nice location.
Yeah. Comfy chairs. I usually just sit on the floor. So this is seriously so nice. I absolutely love it. So kind of how I want to do this podcast is obviously everyone wants to know about you guys. Everyone wants to know about the band. But I want to talk about you guys as individuals before we talk about the band. So each one of you, how did you kind of get into music? When did you know that that was something you wanted to pursue? Did you grow up playing an instrument? Tell us the whole backstory.
It's funny. I was just talking to Ike about this yesterday, but like up until like I was 11, I really wasn't into music at all. I was like in sports when I was younger and stuff. Wasn't really into it. And then in 5th grade, I was just so excited to like join band, tenor sax in 5th grade. Like that was the first thing I did.
I love it.
I was just so excited to like take it home and like figure it out. And then, it kind of stemmed into like going into jazz band in middle school, meeting Michael. Then I picked up like guitar and started watching videos on that. And then we did like a cover band in high school. And then toward the end of high school, I got into production. That was like the game changer for me. Or like, this is like unlimited possibilities. You could be really creative and there's like no rules to it. And
for those listeners who don't know what production is or what that kind of means, how would you describe that?
It's basically like making it sound good. So like adding, the drums in, adding like cool sound effects in, doing like cool vocal effects, and learning
like
all
from
these
your laptop.
on
like
the laptop.
Not, like produced on a laptop. Like that's
Right.
your instrument.
The laptop
So
is my
cool.
instrument. When people ask like, oh, like what do you play? I'm like, well, I do guitar and piano for our shows, but like I can't really shred it either. I shred on the laptop.
Yeah, you're like, do you know what a MacBook is? That's my instrument.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a bar.
So that's me. Yeah.
Awesome.
I think, there's some people out there that grow up like born into something. I'm sure LeBron James grew up and he was like, I'm going to be a basketball player, right off the bat. And so he worked at it every single day. I didn't join choir until I was 16. So a sophomore in high school. That's like when I like started to really sing or figure out how to really sing. And like I didn't write every day until I was a freshman in college. And meaning we started the Astronomers when we were freshmen in college. So like I didn't start writing music until we literally started the band. Like some people write and then they start a band. But yeah, for us, I think we had an unorthodox come up into being musicians. Like we didn't really start with that was the passion.
Yeah.
It just kind of turned into it, which I think has made it more sustainable because it hasn't been this like whole life journey quest.
I actually appreciate you both saying that too, because I feel like so many bands, especially so many smaller, more local, I wouldn't say you guys are small at this point by any means, but more of a local band. It's like I started singing when I was 3 years old. I would always perform for my family. It's just been my lifelong dream, and that's just not how it always goes. And usually that's not how it is. So that's just, it's interesting too. And for both of you to say that you got into it not even later as in 10, later as in 15, 16.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
I mean, I was going to school for construction management my freshman year of college. So
really?
It was like not even considering like music as like a real possibility. I always just thought it would be like a hobby. It's kind of like a fun little side thing. Glad I transferred.
Well, yeah, because like the thing with music is to really do that full time, you have to be able to balance it with other things. Like I graduated with a radio, TV, film major.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a music major. I was for a little bit. It's another story. But like balancing, having other things in your life to balance out your passion will make that growth so much more sustainable and just better.
Yeah.
So
Do you guys feel as if you would have majored in music, or you would have just skipped the whole college thing and gone right into it, it would have been a different story? Do you think you would have gotten sick of it at this point?
I don't think it would have happened, because we started it in college. And I think, this might be a lame excuse or kind of like a bad way to put it, but college is kind of the reason we got to where we are now.
Yeah.
And sure, that might be a lot of money to start something like completely different than college. But Ben and I lived together. He transferred to where I was sophomore year, and we started, like, we bunked our beds in a room to make a studio on the other side.
That is
and like
so
we
awesome.
didn't go out, on the weekends. Like all of our friends would be like, "Come on, let's, this is the address."
We can't. We're working on a song.
And
right
it
now.
wasn't that we didn't. Well, we kind of just didn't want to, but we just loved to take the time that we had to work on getting to where we needed to be.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes sometimes. Like, you got to put in the work, and we had the drive to, and it's cool to see it pay off.
And like you said, it's all about balance, but you still need to know when to say no. Just because you're balancing everything doesn't mean you can do everything all the time. You still have to prioritize, like you guys said.
That's so huge. And I think in college, a lot of people struggle with that.
Yep.
Like, not being able to say
no.
Yeah, like saying no to things is really hard in college, because you're trying to make friends, you're trying to put yourself out there. But like, when you're done with college, what do you have to say for? Like, how are you going to get past that break then, when you're trying to find a job or like this and that? And
So going off of that, are either one of you pursuing a different career right now? I know you said construction management you started with. Are either of you having other jobs outside of this, or is this kind of your main focus?
This is the main focus now. I had a job last July through October at a tech company for only 3 months, and then we were going on tour and some other stuff, so I just ended up leaving that, and we've just been doing this, and he just graduated, so now we can really put all of our focus and time into it, and we're adding more structure to our days.
Yeah.
With, every day 11 to 12 we have a daily meeting now with our managers.
That is awesome.
And we really it's been, I remember I brought up to you actually first, I don't think we need to do a daily meeting every day. I think we should do it every other day. And you're like, trust me, we should do it every day. And now I see the benefits of it. It's great.
It's been a grind of a 2.5. We started the Monday after I graduated. Party on Saturday, sleep on Sunday. Monday was the hit ground running. And I'm technically still employed elsewhere.
Technically.
I'm not going to name names. A lot of people know, they've seen me there. I have a discount, and it's nice. We don't know how long that's going to last. I haven't worked there in a month.
But
so.
it's not necessarily a career. You guys
No.
aren't trying to
Oh,
build up the corporate ladder kind of thing. This is it.
No, yeah. And a lot of people ask, is this full time? It is full time. This is.
You have to treat it like a job.
This is how we're paying the bills now. And that's the goal. If you're able to pay rent and you're able to live your life, doing what you love, that's the dream.
Well, you know what? This house is much bigger than I thought it was going to be. I truthfully thought it was going to be a little shack of a college house, something I was used to.
So you said.
This is so much nicer. I actually love it. So it must be paying well enough. The bills must be.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's get right into the band. All right, guys.
Yeah.
First and foremost, how did you start? I remember you as Orange Afternoon. So
yeah,
how did this all process begin? I know you kind of covered it a little, but take me through the journey of the conversation you guys first had.
Yeah, so in high school I was doing a lot of copyright free stuff on YouTube, just basically gaming instrumentals for the YouTube community or gaming community on YouTube. And a lot of people were kind of using my, shitty little instrumentals in their videos. And I got 10,000 subs when I was 18.
For those of you who don't know, subs is subscribers.
Yeah.
He was really hungry and just loved subs.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. You just ate a ton.
Yeah.
Love Subway. And then, my manager reached out to me in April or February of 2018 and hopped on a call, and he was I really didn't have anything going other than like the small little YouTube channel. But he was interested in like what I had to say. Like he thought I sounded really passionate and driven, and started working with him. And then I think it was like December of 2018. I was just kind of sick of putting out copyright free stuff. Like you don't make money on it. It's a good way to grow an audience, but it was just kind of old and I was just getting bored of it. So I emailed my manager. I'm like, I'm thinking about making this a duo. Like I have a friend from high school that I think, can write and sing, and like I want to get lyrics on the songs now. So he thought it was like a cool idea and stuff. So then in February of 2019, when I was at Platteville in the dorm, I FaceTimed Michael, and like I feel like we really haven't even, like at that point, we really didn't even talk that much. Like we were still friends.
Is so weird to think,
know.
like us not.
Were you guys
talking.
just kind of class friends? Like you saw each other at school and it was one of those friendships?
Like you said, we were in our cover band in high school. So like we knew in high school, like we were great friends. But then we went to 2 different colleges. So we just kind of stopped. I would say for that first semester of our freshman year, we didn't really chat.
No, we didn't. Yeah, we really didn't see each
Was
other
that
that
cover
much.
band meant to go into college? Was it meant to pursue further than it did?
Our friends Josh and Ike were still in high school, and then, the other members of the band kept it going with some new members. And I think there was a plan to kind of make it like just pass it down kind of cover band, which would have been so cool. It didn't end up being that. But yeah, it was when we got to college, we knew it was like, on to a different thing.
And backtrack a little. How did that cover band start?
That was myself, Ben, and then our other friend, Connor. We started a band called BMC.
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, we were like 14 when we started this, and we had like our biggest aspiration was playing the farmers market. Like we were like, oh my gosh,
like,
I can't wait.
imagine?
Right? I can't wait to play this cover of Riptide that no one else has ever heard before.
You're like, Vance Joy is going to come to the farmer's market and fucking sponsor us.
We're going to be making millions. No, and so we started that, and then we added Josh and Ike, and ironically called it BMIJC. Sounds like something you have to take in gym class. I feel
And
like
then, so
seriously sounds like some sort of fitness.
So that name, we're like, okay, way too many letters. Like, we gotta get an actual name. So then, for a week, we were actually called the Astronomers because I wanted it.
Yeah.
No one else wanted it. So
How did you think of that name?
I just thought it was cool, and like no one had it. And
Did you just see some sort of astronaut on TV? You're like, wait, Astronomers, this is awesome.
No, I just think like in terms of branding and stuff you can do with like space stuff, and like it's available to, no one had it. Like, I don't want it. Like, I feel like the astronauts, like one that's probably already taken, but it's also kind of like
there's so much room.
Yeah.
there's so much
for,
room
like,
for cool branding stuff.
Yeah, go shooting for the stars.
I knew
to the
SpaceX was
moon you
getting
go.
bigger and bigger. There's more buzz around space these days.
Yeah.
The Space Force and whatnot. So we had that for a week
The
for our cover
marketing
band.
brain in you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We had
Yeah.
that for a week, and then I don't know who voted against it. I think everyone voted against it. So then, a few years later, when I started the Astronomers and invited Michael, it's like, fuck you, it is gonna be the Astronomers. No, I'm kidding.
I don't care what you
I'm
think.
kidding.
Yeah, I liked it.
Was Orange Afternoon, this might be an obvious question, a little tail off of Green Day?
It totally was. And then
How
none
did
of
you
us
put that together?
none of us even came up with a name. It was actually something funny that my dad would do when we would listen to bands. So like Nickelback is one of the funny ones. He would say, "Oh, can we listen to some Dime Stomach?"
Oh, I love that.
And I just like at first was like, "What are you talking about?" And then my dad was like, "Green Day, are we listening to some Orange Afternoon?" And that one just kind of stuck.
You're like, okay.
That one, it's kind of
could do
it's a
something
vibe,
with this.
and so we kind of brought it to everyone, and everyone was like, "Yeah." And I think honestly, everyone liked it because no one came up with it. It was like it's not someone's idea; it was someone else. It was like someone not even related to the band.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah, it was like no one's kind of got the firm grip on making that the name. So yeah.
Okay, so that was the cover band. And for anyone listening, I went to their stuff in high school. I think I have videos on my phone
Yeah.
of you guys performing. Like, we would
Oh,
just go
gosh.
randomly. You're like, I don't want to fucking see this. But so that's what I remember. I remember Orange Afternoon, and I remember Eric Reed was in it. Shout out Eric Reed.
Yeah.
Okay, so flash forward. Now we're in college. You call up Mikey. Okay.
Yeah, so I call him. I'm in my dorm. I think it was like around 7 p.m. or something. It was kind of at night. And I'm like,
You're really setting the scene.
yeah. And I'm like, I'm sick of making this copyright-free stuff. I was thinking like we should form a duo and call it the Astronomers. I'm like, would you be down? And Michael's like, dude, I am so down. Yes, let's do it. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. If we're going to do it, though, this is something that I already do every day. So it's not going to be like we work on this for 2 weeks and then forget about it. Like, this is something we're doing every single day. And then Michael's like, bro, trust me, I will do this with you every single day. I'm so down. And then rest is history.
Dang. I love that you set the stage. It wasn't just like hey, bro, we should start a band.
Yeah.
Like, kind of, let's go in my parents' garage kind of thing. You're like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And if you aren't doing it, like, too bad, because I'm kidnapping you and you're coming here and doing this every fucking day.
It was like, I was your typical, like, picked a major freshman, kind of lost as fuck. Not like my headspace was all over the place, but I was like, I needed something that I could do that was me, like that was mine. And when Ben asked me to do that, I was already like so into like all of these bands and, really starting to find music I liked. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, let's do this.
Funny
and
enough,
never look back.
Awesome.
August of 2018, before we went off to college, I remember we were in your living room and I showed you something I was working on, and you're like, I said like, I'm going to rebrand and call like the new project the Astronomer, and you're like, oh, would you ever want to make it the Astronomers? Like,
Really?
You're kind of joking around. I'm like, I'm probably just going to do this solo. You're like, yeah, I was just kidding.
I don't know how you remember that.
Yeah, that's what I meant, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so do you go by Mikey Mike? Do you go by Mike? Do you go by Michael?
I mean,
Mikey Mike's your stage name, right? Kind of. Has it become that?
I think in high school, like, someone gave me that as a nickname, and I just kind of made it my Instagram for a while. But no, I would say everyone calls me Michael on stage. Like, it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really calls me anything else on stage. I don't know.
So, Michael, so when you were in high school and while he was doing this copyright stuff, did you start writing music then? Were you kind of singing or anything getting involved whatsoever?
Yeah, like, before I kind of said I really started doing it in college, but in senior year, I started to kind of dabble writing. Like, I wrote, like, one song. I think it was called Fly. I don't remember how it goes at all. Do you remember that?
I know when you're talking
Yeah, I don't
about.
even know how it goes. But
I'd have to think. I'd be able to think of it.
Yeah. I, like, started to do it because I was when I, like, really started to find bands. I like, AJR. That was when we really started to like that band, the Chainsmokers. I just wanted to do that, but I didn't do it well.
Okay.
And so all I did was cover stuff. Like, I love to cover songs. And then, when freshman year hit, there was a songwriting club. And I instantly became friends with, like, the people who ran the club. And he was like, yeah, I write every single day. And I'm like, wow, that's a new concept to me. Like,
yeah.
I maybe wrote, like, 1 or 2 songs before. And so from that day forward, I was just writing every single day. Like, I didn't care if it was a bad song or if it was a good song. Ben would send me an instrumental, or I would sit on a piano and just write. It was always a new song. Maybe I'd finish a new song, but it was just repetition. And now I've gotten into this groove where it's like, I still write every week, but I don't need to do that to, like, find out how to write music anymore.
Yeah.
It's just now it's kind of got into a rhythm where it's like I hear something or I'm writing something. It's like kind of know where I need to go.
He's quick. He's a fast
It's like
writer.
today, like yesterday, like I told Ben, I'm like, I'm going to put the headphones on and just write right now because I don't want to hear anyone else. Like, I know exactly what I need to do. And I'll probably have this song finished later today. And it's been 2 days.
So what's the purpose kind of behind your writing? What is your writing style? Are you going for people to feel it, people to relate to it? Is it something you're going through? What's kind of your thought process behind your songwriting?
I think at first it was, I always wanted to just talk about topics that other people were probably relating to. So, like, we released a song like 2 years ago now called You Fucked Up.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, a lot of people thought, they're like, damn, Michael, like, what are you going through? Like, it was such a relationship, like,
Who hurt him?
yeah, right. And like, it was not personal at all. Like, it had nothing to do with what was going on in my life. I just thought it would be a topic that people would, you know, resonate with. Like, it's just common right now. And, you know, overthinking, you know, a big song about like dealing with anxiety and like,
I love that song.
yeah, it's like the one that kind of started it all. And I found so much success in that I just kept doing that. But as like I kept doing it, you know, after I guess it's just Life EP, when we wrote the Occasion album, I really made sure that the topics were stuff that like meant something. And like even now to this day, like I can't really write about something fake anymore. Like I can't.
And by
force...
fake you mean like hypothetical?
Yeah, okay. yeah. I guess not fake, but like I can't write something that like someone else is going through. It has to be like something that I'm dealing with. So like all of these new songs are about talking about things, whether it's like a low in your life or a high in your life. So like I'm making sure that like everything I'm writing is personal and or something I've maybe gone through or are going through, like, because I've just like tried to write about things and I literally can't do it anymore. And that's just, you know, maybe some point I will be able to go back to that. But right now in this moment, that's kind of where I'm at.
That makes sense. So does it come first that you write and you put kind of the sound behind it, Ben?
Yeah, most of the time. I'd say lately it's he writes the song. Like just yesterday, basically, he was down there for an hour by himself, and he's like, he actually wanted like the studio to himself, which I totally respect because like I'm that way too, and I'm like up at 4 a.m., you know, mixing, doing all the tedious stuff, putting the sound behind it. It's like having a space just by yourself, no interruptions, just total focus is really helpful. So I was just upstairs, you know, doing something else. I come back down, he plays it. This is awesome. And then last night I was so inspired. I worked on it from like midnight to 4 a.m. And, you know, now he heard it when he woke up. And probably
you guys
after
are taking
this
like
podcast.
a day shift
It's
and a
just
night
like
shift.
That's literally what it is.
It's so funny.
It is like a day shift, night shift kind of thing.
He's got like the night shift.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, all right, I'll see you, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you give us a little bit of a sneak peek of what the song is about?
Oh yeah. I thought
I actually want to hear this too.
I
I don't
haven't
know.
wrote a song about my relationship in a while with Madison.
I was gonna say, would you like to shout her out?
Oh yeah, I talk about it all the time. Because the last song that I wrote that was like strictly about her was a song called Hotel Rooms, which did really well for us, and it just came naturally to talk about that. And so this one is kind of like a very much fantasized look at this. So like a lot of people when they first start out like talking to someone in today's day is, you know, you might send a drunk text, or you're like, I really like this person, I really want to talk to him, but I feel like it's just like, it's like iMessage or like a Snapchat, and I'm like not really getting through to him. And so like Madison, when we first started talking, was like over Snapchat, and it was, you know, because she lived in Milwaukee at the time and I lived here, and so like we didn't really see each other for like the first like 2 months, and so it was always like kind of hard to get a grasp on like how the feelings were. Are they mutual? Like, am we feeling the same thing? Like, does she like me? Do I, you know, like, so
very
like
common, very
yeah,
common.
and so like I knew that people would totally feel that, and so the hook is like, you know, I can't remember your favorite play. I'd rather talk to you face to face anyway.
Oh, I love that.
So it's like just like a play on words to talk about like, I can't remember what you said the other day because I don't have the Snapchat. I can't go back and look at the Snapchat.
Yeah.
I'd rather talk to you face to face. And now here we are 2 years later, and we're moving into our first house. So I just thought it was kind of cool to look back at how far it's come.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. A little love song. That's so cute.
Yeah.
Little romance on the pod. I'm here for it.
Right, yeah.
And then Ben, you heard it and you're like, I got this. I can put the sound right behind it.
Yeah. I mean, he had like all the vocal layers done, and then like my first thing is like level it out, bring the levels down, and like just start adding all these cool sounds to it. And I mean, yeah, it's fun because like sometimes I know exactly where I want to take it, and sometimes I'm just having fun, and I just do like one step at a time. Where I'm like, let's try this sound, that worked. Next sound, let's try this, that worked. You know, and just snap, keep going. Yeah.
That is so awesome. That's like pure talent right there, because especially when you can't describe the process. And I know, Michael, you said this before on your songwriting, like it just comes to you and you just go with it. That's when you know you're in the right place. You're doing the right thing because you can't explain it. And then it comes together and it works. And that's just how it's meant to be.
Right.
Yeah. Like we can't force a song anymore.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we would schedule a time to meet. We're like, hey, we're going to meet Thursday night to work on a song and just start a new song. And I would say 75% of the time we can't do a song.
No, and you're putting that pressure on yourself too. You're like, dude, we need to write a song, and then you're sitting there and it's nothing. It's like writer's block.
The good ones always come just like when he just pops in randomly, or it's just like totally unplanned. Like, oh, I'm gonna go just open your laptop and work on something, and then it's always so random. Like you just never know when like a good song is gonna hit.
Yeah.
I will say I did hear a gem the other day on a podcast. You mentioned writer's block, and someone said that that's like a made up term.
Okay.
So like people there was this songwriting teacher for Yale who said that he makes his students write a song and then present it to the class every single week. So a new song, like every single week. And then people were kind of like rolling their eyes about it because they're like, oh man, like this is so much stress. Like how am I going to be able to do this? And then I think that reason is because like people are thinking it has to be like a great song every week. And it's like, that's not the thing. It's like you don't turn in your homework every week because you love what you're working on every time. It's just because you have to do it and you want to get better.
Yep.
So like maybe you're writing a song, but it's just to kind of get that muscle memory built up. And then maybe one of those is going to be great.
That kind of goes back to what like the members of your club or the guys who ran that songwriting club at your school said too. He's like, I write every day. I write a song every day, or I, practice songwrite every day. If it's not good, doesn't matter. I'm just writing what I'm thinking. I'm writing what I'm feeling. It doesn't matter. And that goes along with the same thing of what you just said. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's not the point. Yeah. You don't need a radio worthy song every time. You just need to write. Right. You need to keep the brain moving. I like that. I like that there's no writer's block. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Going off of that, you guys kind of mentioned that it was overthinking. That was kind of your first hit. What really started it all? Was it that song? Was it a different song?
I think it was unfortunately the time we had during COVID, because we were home. We were at, the studio went back to my parents' spare bedroom. And so we had so much time to figure out what we really wanted our sound to be. And Ben, I'll let you expand on this, but we started making like EDM music. So kind of like that typical synth drop stuff, that the Chainsmokers put out. We really liked them, but we knew that wasn't what we wanted to do for the rest of the Astronomers. And so overthinking was where we kind of really found what sound we wanted to make.
Yeah, I remember, it was June. It was almost 3 years ago now. Wow. And I'm in your living room and you're like, check out this song I wrote when I was landscaping. And he plays it on the piano. It's just him singing it and him on the piano. This really simple idea. And all these ideas I started thinking like, oh, we could do this, we could do that. So after he played it, we went up to his parents' spare bedroom and worked on it for like 3 hours and had like a pretty like solid demo done within 3 hours. And it wasn't until like a few days later he calls me and he's like, I have such a funny idea for this next part. It after this part I want to do like the la-di-da, like that kind of thing. And at first I'm like, I don't know, like that could work maybe. So he records that like a day later or something, and then I pitch it up and make those la-di-das sound like a kid's choir almost, like a group of kids doing that. And then just turned the song into something different. And we're like, damn, this is actually really sick.
Yeah.
And I remember after we had that session done, I actually took 3 laps around the city. Like I was driving for like 45 minutes and listened to this 90-second demo on repeat for 45 minutes straight. Yeah. And I'm like, this is going to do something.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So then did you base the other songs? What album was this on again? Was this your first one?
That was on the second project called Guess It's Just Life.
Okay, that's
Um,
I love that one.
Yeah,
Nice.
and we knew it worked because that song went in 3 months later went #1 on, a radio station. So
That
we
is
knew
so
that
cool.
it was a good sound. That was kind of the validation we needed, and then we didn't stop making that kind of music for like a whole year and a half because I think 3 of those songs have like la-di-das on them.
Did that song inspire Turn Out Fine?
Well, the funny thing is Turn Out Fine did get written only like 4 or 5 months after Overthinking came out, but it didn't come out until the end of 2022. I'm sure there was a little bit still inspired in that one.
Yeah.
That one just had such a roller coaster of a ride because we had to deal with so many like problems with who was going to be on the song.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure it did. Yeah.
That's crazy. So what is each of your personal favorite songs that you've written or that the band has written?
Honestly, right now, it used to be Bad Type for me, but right now it's Orange Afternoon. That's my favorite one I think we've ever done.
I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
mean, it's funny because that's the old cover band name.
Yep. Yeah.
And we weren't gonna call it that because we were gonna call it something different. But then I say that word once in the song. It's like in the second verse, and we just thought it'd be cool because it's about how far you've come. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, that one. I really like The Occasion, which is the title track on our last album.
Mm-hmm.
Still resonates with me today. Just the lyrics on that one are good, but yeah, Orange Afternoon too.
So how many albums are we at right now?
Well, so technically just the one full-length album, The Occasion, and then we kind of our first 2 projects we call EPs.
I like that that makes sense.
But we group all of our stuff into chapters. We just kind of make that, destroy the confusion on whether it's an album or an EP. We just say this was chapter 1, chapter 2.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
That is, and why does it have to be more? You're like defining it enough. It's like, this is where we were in that life. This is what we came out with. And
Exactly.
It's,
I'm so glad we did that too, because that was like one of our best decisions right off the bat to just call it chapters.
Yeah.
Like we just right from the get-go is chapter 1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say that you put these songs out, you obviously put them on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is, but how do you get it really out there? What does that promotion and kind of getting it to radio stations, to different networks, whatever it is, look like for you guys?
I think we don't take the new age approach. A lot of people think the only way now to get people to hear your music is TikTok or Reels. And we're a like living proof because we've never had stuff blow up on any of those or anything that's translated into streams.
Yeah.
We've grew the most organic audience possible, I think. Like everyone,
Just a solid fan base.
yeah, like we're not just as quickly going up and then as quickly going down. Because if you get a TikTok hit, it's like you're gonna get millions of people, but then it's like,
but you can't keep that.
like not to throw shots and shade, but like Gail, for instance, she's got A B C D E F G whatever. Like it was a hit song for her. But now if you look,
Great song.
yeah, it was a great song, hit, probably one of the biggest hits of our generation now. But now if you look at like what she's putting out now, it's not like no one's there to
And
listen.
I don't even know Gail. Like I know the song, but I don't know
You know
her
the song.
versus like people like,
Exactly.
yeah, like people who are big, you know them because you like the person, you like the artist, not the song. And I think
Exactly.
that is a hard part about TikTok.
You like the artist, and that's way more important than liking the song for longevity, because it's fine to be that band that's got that one song.
Yep.
But you look at people like Nick D, who have done wonders, and this is a guy who hasn't even toured. He's an independent artist, puts out a song like every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And he is making his living off of not touring, off of not like doing any of that. He is just straight up putting out a song every 2 weeks, and people like just follow him for who he is. And he's just putting out so many songs and stuff. And so it's just like, it doesn't have to be like make a TikTok, have one song blow up, bam, I'm there.
Yeah.
It's put out all this content for your viewers and slowly grow up that ladder.
Yep. That makes sense.
But to add to that, to like kind of answer the question a little bit more, is like, we do send it to like 101.1, the radio stations, if we feel like it's a good like radio friendly song. We do run ads behind our stuff. We really don't spend that much on ads, but we do that sometimes. And honestly, like, the biggest thing is just having a real fan base that's going to return and talk, share it with their friends. They're excited for your new songs, because now when we put out a song, we don't even really have to, like, do much. We just know, like, the audience is going to show up. And that's what's really great, is, like, the hard work is really the time you have to put in to get the audience that cares about your music. And
is that audience mainly local, would you say?
We don't have a single city from Wisconsin in our top 50 cities in the world.
No way.
So I think our top 5 are, like, it's Chicago's in there, Denver's in there.
Wait, I am so shocked. That is
not
awesome.
Even like Milwaukee is in the top 50.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I think Sydney, Australia is in our top 10. Isn't that hilarious?
If you're listening from Sydney, Australia, keep it fucking up. You're just awesome.
Like, every time I show people that, like, I think I showed my dad that the other day. He's like, oh, I just want to see your, like, top 50 cities. And, not even where we're from is in the top 50 cities.
I didn't even know that.
Oshkosh is not in the top 50.
That is so awesome.
Wow.
So how do you think is that just kind of living proof of streams on Spotify? Is it...
Well, that's a Spotify approach. Obviously, we do a ton of shows around here, and, like, we have the radio play.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the brand awareness around here is probably, like, higher than most other locations.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, like, just Spotify and, like, the listener data, it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Chicago's the biggest one with, like, 15,000 listeners or something.
That is so cool, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, congrats. That's got to be awesome. When was a moment for you guys like that where you're like, damn, we could really do something with this? Like, we're beyond the kids in the dorm room. We could actually make something work.
Mine just happened when we went on our first headline tour in January.
Okay. Oh, and don't worry, everybody. We'll get to the tours. We're bringing in 2 other members, and we're going to get all into the tour.
We were in our hotel room, and I was just laying there watching, because I was making vlogs of all of the stuff we did. And I was just editing it and kind of watching it back, and I'm thinking, like, damn, we just had 80 people at a show right outside Cincinnati, Ohio. We've never played here before. We've never even been here before.
Yeah.
And 80 people came and watched the show. And I'm just like, that is a wake-up. And these people are driving from, like, Indianapolis. They're driving from Atlanta, Georgia.
Like, they're making an effort to
flying
go
from
there.
DC,
5+
driving
hours.
from Canada.
Yeah, they're making the commute. And that is when you can put the streams to faces, that's when you really get the good grasp on it.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. What about for you, Ben?
Honestly, I mean, pretty much the same thing. Like, just tour, and, like, people are coming up to us and saying, like, we drove 8 hours for this show. Like, someone.
Oh my gosh.
What show was it? I think we were in, like,
from Canada to Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Well, I don't know if that was 8 hours, but, like,
hell?
South Carolina to, like, Chicago
to
or something.
It was Pittsburgh,
Okay,
Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. And you guys put yourself in their shoes, and you probably had artists that you loved growing up, and you're like, I would have driven 7+ hours to see them, and now people are doing that to see you. That is so cool.
I know, right.
Oh my gosh. And then kind of flipping off of that, this is probably a super unusual question to ask, but when was a moment that you were both like, I want to be done? This isn't working. I just kind of want to give up. It just became too overwhelming, or whatever it was.
No, that's a good question. I think you shouldn't just focus on the pros. I don't think there's ever been a moment where I'm like, I need to be done with the Astronomers. I think there's been moments where I haven't felt the same, like, enjoyment from it.
Yeah.
Like in 2021, it was right after we were playing some, like, really big shows in Wisconsin. So we played Titletown. So it's like a Green Bay Packer event.
Yeah.
And we had probably close to, like, 500 people at this show. And it was like our first big show. We had a VIP meet and greet with us at the end, where, like, 50 people, like, won tickets to do. And we're like, holy shit, like, this is, like, all happening. And I don't think I was mentally prepared for it. For, like, the next, like, couple months, I was just, like, really struggling to find, like, my passion. And, like, everything for it, which is weird because you've come off such this big high of like showing that it's working.
And you want to keep it going.
Yeah, and so I don't think I really knew how to deal with that at the time. Now I'm good at it, I think. You know, I've been, you know, really motivated to play shows, and it's hard work, but yeah, I think that was the one experience for me.
For me, I don't know if I've ever really had a moment where it's like, I'm done, like, I'm sick of this, give up. I like it too much. I'd say there's definitely been times where, like, creativity and inspiration just feels like all-time low, where it's like, oh, like, I just don't even, like, I'm just not motivated to do anything Astronomers right now, but it doesn't mean, like, I want to be done with it, like, forever, like, I quit. It's just more like, I just need, like, a breather of just not doing that right now because I'm just so creatively drained. I think that really hit, you know, when I was working a full-time job remote from home. So I was on my computer for like, you know, 8 hours a day, get done with work, and it's like, get me off this computer. Like, I want to go get food,
do anything else.
go to the Y, come back and just kind of relax. Like, I can't, like, I don't have like the mental capacity for like creative stuff, and I also have to get up the next day for work again. So that's where it's like, it felt like a kind of like, just, it was a creative drought, like, you know. It was,
we didn't make like a song for like a couple months.
It felt like I think we tried, but it was like nothing that was like,
luckily we were dropping an album, so we had content coming out, but it was like new stuff, like we didn't make, and then Orange Afternoon happened. I think that sparked a lot of new stuff. But
so
do you guys get sick of hearing your own songs ever? Like, do you ever hear a song you're like, oh my gosh, someone
I
turned
don't
it off?
listen
Not
to
really.
it if it pops up. Like, I'll just be shuffling one of my favorite artists, and then one of our songs will come up, and I'll usually skip it. But sometimes I'll leave it playing because I like to. Ben and I both like to do this. We like to compare it.
Okay.
And just kind of be like, okay, does this like sound like if someone else is just listening right now?
Yeah, put yourself in a like.
Are they just
Exactly.
gonna be
Yeah.
like nonchalantly keep listening on the shuffle? You know, like, because that's important. You know.
For me, I don't think I could be a music producer if I got sick of it, because that's literally all I do is like hitting spacebar, hearing it play back. Okay, what else can I add? Play it again. So I do get sick of it at times, but if this is kind of like an interesting perspective, is like, if you love music and you want to be able to like have, you know, find your sound or like make a hit, and you have the ability and the know-how to like do it, you're always going to try to make like your favorite song. So, you know, like, whenever I do that, I try to make songs that I am going to be a fan of. So when I do that, like Orange Afternoon, I listen to that song all the time still. Like, I'm probably not trying to be like cocky, but I'm probably like my own biggest fan, because I'm like, I'm making it because I want to be a fan of the music. You know, like, it's like born into this world almost, you know.
We know a lot of artists that have one big song and like don't even play it live. And it's like, because they're like, oh, I'm sick of that song. Yeah. It's like, we're never not going to play. I mean, watch us not do it one day, but we're never not going to play Overthinking. We know there's going to be someone at a show that's never heard that song live. It's the biggest song. We've been playing it for 2 years now.
It's almost not about you guys either. It's about the fans.
Kind of. Yeah, if you want people to listen, you got to be fans of what you're doing. Otherwise, you're not going to love it. And
Absolutely. So I have one more question for you guys before we bring Josh and Ike in. What are you guys doing moving forward to really keep going, to keep pushing, to get more listens, get more streams, more fans? What is one thing that you guys are going to implement to change that? I actually wouldn't even say change it. I'd say to grow it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, the 11 to noon meetings that we do every day now, it's like we basically just set the agenda for the day every day and like talk about stuff that might have been on the back burner or stuff that's like going on. Everything gets addressed basically every day of like what's the next step, you know. So that's already feels like it's been working out great in terms of progress, but we're looking to like collab with bigger artists and really like, you know, mix audiences and get bigger numbers, honestly. And
are there any in particular?
We actually have a lot of collabs in the background right now.
Yeah, there's
we're
nothing
talking
like
That's
set
awesome.
in stone. Like, I don't want to say anything and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Can't
yeah.
jinx on the
there,
pod.
there is one big one right now that someone reached out that we're pretty excited about. Hasn't happened yet, but like it seems promising. So
Awesome.
I think it's like content,
Oh, yeah.
putting it out, like just doing stuff every single day, because like we're not big enough yet to like take a hiatus.
Yeah.
Like we can't be like 21 Pilots, drop an album, then 2 years of not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like they can pay the bills and not do anything for 2 years. We just want to keep growing our listeners. We are, and we're really happy. You know, we're at almost 900,000 people a month on Spotify, and that's a
so
big number.
Awesome. Yeah.
we're also hesitant about taking a record deal too. So like doing everything ourselves, because
I was gonna say, how do you get your money? It's obviously from the streams, I'm assuming, right? So then would having a record label hinder that?
Well, a lot of people think that that's like the way to go.
Yeah.
But like when you think about this, like a record label gives you money that you have to give back.
Yep.
So like
It's like an
think,
investment.
yeah, it's like an advance. So like if a record label is gonna give you, 200 grand, you know what I'm saying? The record label is gonna give you $200,000, right? But then they're gonna say, okay, you have to pay this back in 3 years, and we're taking 50% of your songs too. It might look good because you're like, oh, that's 200 grand that we can do whatever we want with. I can go
Mhm.
buy a house. I can go. Well, you know what I'm saying. Like I'm basically meaning like you can go do with it what you want, is what they're saying. But you have to make it back. You're signing a contract to that person or that company where
Yeah.
it's a loan.
you're paying it back, but you're getting money up front. You can do with it what you want. It's just how you pay it back. And that's the danger of doing that, because you don't know what you're going to be like in 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't your thing anymore, but you're still signed to that term.
Yeah.
You also are under like you're at the whim of the label then. So if you love a song and you want to put it out like whenever you want, they're like, actually, you know what? We have these other bigger artists we're working with. Pause. Like we'll get to you. You know, you could get shelved. You could.
Yeah.
They could be like,
It might.
Yeah.
we don't like that song. Like do it this way.
Yeah.
Like make shit like this. It's like, no, we're doing it our way. Well, too bad you're signed with us. So like we're
Yeah.
not putting this one out. So it's like you totally lose like creative control. I mean, like, hopefully that's not
Well,
the case.
if you're
with
signed to a
labels,
label
but like,
and you're trying to drop a song and they're like, sorry, Taylor Swift's dropping an
Yeah.
album in a couple months. We don't care about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of have that control in their hands. Is
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
how that goes.
yeah.
So,
So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, let's bring the guys in.
All right.
boys.
All right, guys. So now I'm sitting here with Ike and Josh, two of the other band members.
Yeah, I'm Josh. I am the drummer for a lot of the Astronomers live shows. Help out with some of the live production as well.
Yeah, I'm Ike. I'm the bass player and keyboard player / light programmer / a little bit of production.
He's a jack of all trades
So-
over here. He's also wearing Sent with Emphasis merch, everybody. So
Represent.
look at him. He's repping. Now, guys, we're going to talk about the tour. So how many tours have you guys done? Have you just done one or two? I feel like I've been following you for a couple years now, and you guys are just always on the road.
But yeah, so well,
Okay.
you guys are better
I'll
explain
take
it.
it,
But
sure.
basically, we started in January.
Yeah,
it was
but
like pretty much one.
we've
so
done
far.
2 so far. Midwest Kids one last March or like March of 2022.
Like 1.5.
But it was like 4 shows. So really 1.5 basically. And then we have our West Coast one here in a few weeks. And then, yeah.
We're just now like starting to like really get the tours loaded up. It's been more so just like 2 shows here in Wisconsin on a weekend,
Mhm.
and now it's like January we went on our first like full month like road trip tour, and then we're going out west in a couple weeks for like 2 weeks, and then again in the fall. So
Is it like you get invited on these tours as openers, or is it your own that you schedule these shows? How does that work?
yeah, we've been scheduling all of ours for, that's something Jack has been working on with our booking agent, Sarah, for doing these now. We definitely will take like an opening slot, and I think that's the next goal, is to like open for someone.
Yeah.
But it's been, mostly just, Jack and Sarah just kind of getting all these shows booked. And
Yeah, huge shout out to the behind the scenes team making this
Yeah.
happen. Like Gabe, Jack, Sarah, the rest. Definitely wouldn't be in this spot without them lining this up, and they do a great job.
That is so cool. So when did you start your first tour? When was that? Or the half tour or whatever the first kind of gig was?
The Midwest Kids tour.
Yeah.
Was it weird when you like got on the road? You're like, oh my god! Like,
I mean,
this
we
is kind of
didn't-
weird.
We weren't going that far.
Yeah.
It was kind of just the outskirts of Wisconsin plus Chicago.
We're in some cornfield somewhere.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, we were playing. I think it was Milwaukee, Chicago, La Crosse, and Green Bay.
Okay.
And we were just kind of all figuring it out how to do this.
Our first show in Chicago, we had 11 people show
Yeah.
up.
That was fun.
Hey, you know what? That's 11 of your biggest
I
fans.
don't think
so.
that place exists anymore.
And it was a
Yeah, I
Sunday
don't know.
night.
Yeah, it was a Sunday night. It was our first ever out of state show.
People are
so
coming
that
right from
was-
church to your.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely quiet there, at least from the audience perspective.
Yeah.
The drums is all you can hear.
Yes.
I will say though, like, it's a great story now because we've played in Chicago 2 other times,
Yeah.
and we just had our first headline show in Chicago since that one, and we had almost a sold out crowd. It was like 150 people.
That is awesome.
And so it's cool to see what a year can do, not even a year can
Yeah.
do. So yeah.
Dang. Okay, so your last tour. Tell me about it. You guys got a van?
Yeah, Howie.
Howie? So you're like, we need a fucking van. We're on tour. Let's
Yeah.
go do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did you come up with Howie?
I was at my job prior to this where I we got the van and everyone was like, all right, let's think of a name, like, because we like to name everything. Like,
Yeah.
our mixer over here is called Bill.
Yep.
Like, as you do. And I thought of Howie because I was like, how we get places.
Oh, I like it.
And now that the more that I think about it, we should have like spelt it like HOWE,
Yeah.
like just, or like 2 W's, just like something stupid like that. But yeah,
He has a voice too. You want to do the Howie voice?
Oh, I don't know if the podcast deserves the Howie voice.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exclusive. That's exclusive. That's
like
behind
bonus.
the scenes.
All
Yeah.
Like,
the characters
bonus.
have their own
Bonus.
voice. Bill has a voice.
like,
Everyone has
they're
a
amazing.
voice.
Yeah.
So life on the road, how is it?
It is kind of weird. It's different. At least for me, I am someone who needs a lot of like structure in my life, and the other three can definitely attest to that. So for me, like being on the road for a month, and obviously,
Oh my gosh, it
We're-
was a month?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was just about maybe a little bit less,
A
but
few gaps in between.
Holy shit.
But for that, like, it's just such a contrast from like day to day normal life. Not only even just like a 9 to 5, but or at least Michael and I were still in college at the time. So even just going from that to where it's a lot of traveling and you have this one kind of big thing at the end of the night, but everything else up to that is kind of figure it out on your own. That was
Yeah.
definitely
Mhm.
kind of interesting to figure out. I think for all of us too, just like how do we spend our time on the road in the car? You
Hey,
know,
shout out to Quick Trip though.
Yeah.
Quick Trip keeps us alive.
When
It's
we're
got
here,
everything
though.
we need.
Are
Yeah,
those,
in
like, where all of
Wisconsin,
your
or
meals
like,
are?
or what's that?
I said, is that where like all of your meals are?
Basically.
Yeah.
What's that one
Basically.
out in Ohio? Sheets.
No, it was-
Sheets.
That was in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh
Oh,
where
Pittsburgh.
we stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Sheets was awesome.
Was there
I
like
think-
a Hux?
Yeah.
Hux was one. We stopped
Oh,
at
yeah.
like one or two
Dino
Hux.
Mart.
We're shouting out all the gas stations we stopped at.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love
think
that.
To like attest to Josh, what he's saying is that the whole occasion tour was very much just like we're figuring it all out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure, the more we do and the more we kind of get a flow for things, the more we'll figure out, like, okay, we know that, like, it's the morning after 2 shows, like, everyone just kind of do your thing
Yeah.
in the car. Like, let's not worry about what's going on. Let's just, like, let's get to the next venue and let's do our thing. Like, we're kind of figuring out what everyone needs when we're doing these. And
Yeah.
that's,
Are you guys all sleeping in that van on the road, or are you going to hotels, or how?
We get one hotel room for 5 guys.
Oh my gosh.
So it's pretty brutal.
Was breathing on each other.
Yeah.
I have a little doggy mat air mattress that I roll out. It's like a
Tell 'em
half
about
an inch
that.
thick.
Yeah. What is that?
It's just like my parents had an old camping mattress that I blow up by myself. It has a little vent on it. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but
Because
it
the
works.
air mattress, like, broke, like,
Yeah.
couple shows in.
We did get an actual air mattress, and that broke like within 2 weeks.
We'll get you another one for this
Yeah.
West Coast one.
Score. I'm also the
yeah, upgrade.
I'm also
With
the
every
one-
tour, we'll give you one more. Okay.
I'm also the one who sleeps on the ground the most because I'm usually the one who wakes up the earliest, and B, I tend to snore when I sleep. So
Yeah. How do you guys
keeping
do
away
that?
from-
Do you
We-
just sleep through the snoring?
we
Just
usually have
sleep through the
earplugs
snoring.
in.
This is a good one.
Ben's
for
got a
me.
strategy.
I got a whole system down.
okay. What is it?
So, I was just telling, I was telling someone about this. What I do is I put my right ear into the pillow, so that's muted, can't hear anything, can't hear
Yep.
shit. Then I go on YouTube, 10 hours of white noise.
I do
one
that too.
AirPod, Take
yes.
one AirPod, put it in my left ear, and pull the blanket above that ear. So then it's just blasting white noise for 10 hours straight, and I can't hear anyone in the room. So that's how I fall asleep on tour.
Yeah, I've got the 8
Super
hours.
glamorous.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I have the 8-hour like sleep rain noises,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like thought of this the other day. I'm like, my Spotify Wrapped is gonna be so
No,
boring.
that is how mine has
Oh,
been
yeah.
for the past 2 years. My number one Spotify Wrapped is the 8-hour white fan noise.
Yeah, like meditation stuff. Like,
yeah.
I know. I just thought of that the other. I'm like, damn. Like I really love seeing who I listen to, and I'm like gonna see like rain noises.
Yep. So, do you guys just ever want to kill each other on tour, being together all the time?
I think we need to travel with a Nerf gun just for fun. You know.
Ike and I are going to get Nerf guns for this next
Yeah.
tour.
I think like it's tough because like I think what you have to kind of put yourself into is like tour is like a test. It's like very much like you have to know what you're getting into when you do it. Like it's not the most comfortable all the time, and it's very much like around the same people. It's like you're in a relationship with a bunch of guys, and like you're just straight up like trying to figure them all out at once.
Yeah.
And it's like it'd be different if it was like just Ben and I in the car, but like to make it all work and to give people the best show, like Josh and Jack and everything, like it's like all a big test.
We should also go into our morning routines on tour on like who gets up first, who gets up last.
Yeah. Give me
breakfast,
some morning
everything.
routines,
Yeah.
and then give me like the day of a show. How does that look?
So,
Blurry.
Days of
well,
blur.
start
Don't
with
remember
Josh
anything.
since you get up first. We'll go in order. I
Yeah.
guess.
So just to clarify, I didn't actually want to kill anyone on tour.
Little legal disclaimer.
We are
yeah,
still
we'll get that out of the way
friends.
right away. So at the time I was working, I had an internship that I was luckily able to work remote while on the road. So usually I would get up, depending on how late the show went, I'd usually get up at around like anywhere from 6:30 to 7:30. I would then go down, eat some breakfast, and work for a couple hours remote while everyone else was still sleeping. And then I would usually also try and shower in between there because, as you'll quickly find out, the shower is a hot commodity the later it gets on and the closer it gets to checkout because everyone else has to shower. But yeah, so I was usually the first one up, and I was usually the first one down at breakfast. Michael would sometimes get up with me.
Yeah, I think I would always kind of be there too, and sometimes Ike. I would say the only person who didn't was Ben, and that was like the funniest thing on our first tour was it would be like we have to check out at 11 a.m. and Ben's like in bed at 10:55, and Josh is like, Ben, like we literally have to be out of here in 5 minutes. He's like, you know, and it's like he's got everything. It takes him, I swear, 20 seconds to like get ready, and it's the most annoying thing.
I'm on
like when
island time, especially
Oh my
especially on the rock boat. So yeah, I like to get my sleep. I'm not hungry. I don't get breakfast. That's what
Well, when I
Dunkin's
walked in
for.
today, what were you eating? A queso brat?
Yeah, two
Yeah.
queso brats.
2 queso
Yeah.
brats.
To everyone.
It's like
I'll do it.
just after 1 for people wondering that was Ben's breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are each of your favorite parts of tour?
Honestly, the travel and like the like Michael said earlier, like putting faces to like, you know, our songs, like people saying like I love this song or I found this song when I was doing this. It's just cool to hear the stories that people tell us
Yeah.
because we're so used to like having our routine where we get up, wait for the Spotify stats to come in and see like, oh, we got 100,000 streams yesterday. Like that's awesome. But like it's like numbers on a screen. It's hard to like put like that many faces to it. So when you
Yeah.
actually see people come up to you and tell you like, yeah, my 50-year-old dad was listening to Skywalking and he sent me this song and now we're both fans and we both came to your show. Like that's just, it's cool to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, similar to that, but I like going to just new places, and like when we stop somewhere and it's like this place is known for that, and then
Mhm.
we get to try that food, or like that's just really cool to me, and just traveling in general, and yeah, just like going to places you've never been, and then getting to play shows for people in those places too that have like wanted us to be there and come to these places, and yeah.
That's so
Mhm.
cool. What about you guys?
Yeah, I honestly, one of the things that makes me smile the most on stage is just the people just screaming the words. And
Yeah.
we're out of state, so like we kind of get it around here because we're on the radio and people probably know the words around here. But when we're far away and people just know the words and
That's wild.
and all of that, and the travel I love too, and it's just a whole different experience. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, kind of echoing what everyone said, to be able to go out of state and places that not only we've never played before, but I've never even been before.
Yeah.
To have people show up that want to see us play and to sing those songs, and it just never gets old. I'm always blown away by it every time we take the stage. Be that 20 people or 200 people, it's so cool to see and
Yeah.
to be
Is
able
that
to experience.
adrenaline just like awesome for you guys? Like just before you go on, are you like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna be awesome?
I always get I think I'm the only one who's always, no matter what show we're playing, like really nervous right before we go on.
Yeah.
Because like I have to like kind of be on.
Yeah.
Like I'm the only one who talks.
Yeah.
So like I have to be ready for that. But then it's like right when we get on, it's like we get into a rhythm. Like we
Mhm.
all know what's next. We all know what we're doing. And that's nice.
And the intro track is intense,
The
so it
intro
just builds
track
so
is-
much
Yeah.
adrenaline.
That is a really good adrenaline builder. That
Yeah.
intro, super suspenseful, and like your organs are just getting rattled back there 'cause it's so bassy and stuff.
Yeah.
And our heart
You're
rates are just going up backstage. Like, let's
Yeah.
do this thing. You
That
know?
is so awesome. How long are your guys' shows?
It depends on what we're doing. I would say on tour they're about an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Do you guys have any like pre-show rituals or traditions you guys do?
We do a little huddle sometimes.
Yeah,
right?
we all. I
Yeah.
think we all just like, and we don't even force it. We just all kind of
Yeah.
go. We're all just kind of like
Bring it
feeling
in.
the same. So we're all just like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
let's go.
Have you guys had an opener? Have you guys been an opener for anyone yet, or is it just you guys?
Yeah, I mean we've
done some opening shows, but like not for like an actual tour. We haven't
Okay.
like opened on like someone's tour yet.
we've never done the tour opening slot, but we've opened for some pretty big people just through shows we've done. You know, Milky Chance at Summerfest, and what
That
was
is
the
so cool.
Bryce Vine.
What was the other band?
Fleece,
No. What was the band after Milky Chance?
Portugal, the
Yes,
man.
Portugal the Man.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the one.
That's
Um,
awesome.
Yeah, Bryce Vine.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
And I guess you could say like, you know, American Authors and Neon Trees, and
Are those
the
all
rock
kind of
though.
bands you base your sound off of a little bit?
yeah, I would say for sure Bryce Vine for me is a big writing influence.
You said
And
AJR before too.
AJR, yeah, that'd be fun to do something with them. But,
Yeah, that'd be crazy. All right, one last question.
Yeah.
What's something that like no one knows about tour? Like what is a part of tour that just people who are thinking about it wouldn't even know or guess is part of it?
I'd say, 4 years ago, like, when we started it, we'd always watch like these tour docs, and we'd always talk about like if we go on tour or when we go on tour someday or whatever, like the videos make it look way more like it's definitely fun, but they
Mhm.
don't show the absolute like how exhausting it is and like how much time you just spend like in the van just
Yeah.
riding, and you're with the same people, you're in the hotel, like it is a great time, but it is also pretty exhausting, the amount of travel you do, and especially when you're like a small, or not, we're getting bigger, but we're still relatively small indie band doing this in our shitty van, getting one hotel room with 5 guys, and the shows aren't like huge money makers yet, so it's like there's definitely like a lot of like behind the scenes kind of stress and exhaustion that goes on with it, that people don't necessarily see online. So
I was
Yeah.
gonna to piggyback off that, like the time in the car is definitely not shown, but also it's really weird to think back on because you're obviously doing something for the entire time, be that traveling or in the hotel room, but there's this one peak that's an hour long and then there's a couple hours before it that everything is working towards. So when you think about tour, even though it was a month, thinking back on it, it doesn't feel long at all because you don't remember the 5-hour drive through Ohio. It's just this one kind of image or whatever of a show, and everything else is just kind of lost
A
in
blur.
lost in the
we would
noise.
lose track of like what city we're in or like what hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Like, were we in this city yesterday or like it's such a weird like kind of time warp.
Yeah, time doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
It's like a different utopia. Kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
Hotel, get to the venue, back to the hotel, play, sleep, next hotel, next city.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you don't really appreciate a good hotel breakfast until you really find one.
Oh, I bet.
We had one really decent one.
We had like one that was like
Hampton?
it was like a farm skillet breakfast. It was like an up north cabin. I feel like we were staying in.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I don't
But
think I was
then-
at that one.
You weren't
Oh,
you
okay.
weren't
I
up
think
for it.
Oh,
And
but
I'll give you guys a chance. Do you have any of your favorite stories? One last story you guys want to share from tour?
did you guys get into any of the rock boat travel hell that we
No,
went through?
okay, this would be a good story. I think you have to tell it because this is your first time flying commercially, and this is quite the experience.
Yeah, it was.
You should also preface it with the first time you ever flew. You jumped out of a plane.
Yes. So
Wait, what?
so in high school,
well,
I had never been on a plane before up until senior year of high school. I went skydiving.
Oh, can you imagine that? That's your first time on a plane?
I
Is you
think
jumping
I
out
think
of
it helped in a sense because it was like I had no preconceived notions or anything, and obviously it's such a high adrenaline moment that you're
Yeah.
just amped up. But I think had I done it after flying commercial, because the ride was like looking back on it like crazy rough and kind of like there's things rattling around because
Yeah.
it's a small plane, but I didn't know that that was not normal. So I think that helped. But yeah, so I had never like been in an airport or been on a commercial plane. I had never gone through TSA, anything. So the first time that I'm going to do this is we're going down to Rockboat, which is, if I don't know if they talked about this, but it's a cruise that we played on with a bunch of bands that came out of Miami. So our flight, we leave Milwaukee. We're supposed to fly out of Milwaukee at 6, so we got there at like 4:30, left here by like 3. It was an early day. We get there. We get on the plane. It's like snowing, so they have to de-ice the plane, and then we're just sitting there for like 20 minutes. Nothing's happening. The pilot gets on the mic and is like, "Hey, so we can't start up our engine. They're bringing this machine over that's going to blow hot air into the engine, and we're going to try and get it going for you folks." So essentially, they're trying to jumpstart this plane.
oh, are you talking about Chicago to Milwaukee?
We're talking about Milwaukee.
whole
no, the
travel.
whole
Yeah.
whole
Just
thing.
let him go with this
So
whole thing.
long story short, they can't jumpstart the plane, which again is crazy to even think about that you can just jumpstart a plane. The machines aren't working, so it's 9 o'clock. We've been sitting on the tarmac for 3 hours.
Oh my
We have to get
gosh.
off the plane, get on a different one, fly to Chicago. So our flight from Chicago to Miami was supposed to leave at 8 a.m. We didn't leave Milwaukee until 9:30, so we missed our
that,
connection
yep.
like easily. So then we get there. Luckily, Jack was the man. He took care of everything. Like he was talking to customer service, figuring out what the plan was. But basically, we were told we're stuck in Chicago until there's openings on a plane to Miami because people didn't show up, people
Oh my
canceled, et cetera, et
gosh.
cetera. So we were there from 10 to 7.
Yeah.
So 8-hour layover in Chicago. We had already been up at 3, so
Oh my
we thought we were
gosh.
going to be in Miami at like 12,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, we
hanging
thought
out.
we'd have
We
something
got
to do.
to Miami at like 9 p.m. It was rough,
and we
like
just
air-
went to bed.
and again the
Your
airport.
taxi driver.
Yeah, so we get there and then we're all gassed. We land in Miami.
Delusional. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
we're
my
all just
gosh.
like delirious, and we have to get the hotel. Luckily, had a shuttle for us to get on, so we're waiting. Takes 30 minutes for the shuttle to get there. We hop in, and then this huge family is all also getting in. So like I'm like
Of
almost
course.
sitting on Ike's lap while this mom has a kid next to us on her lap. Like all of us crammed into this like almost like party bus. And the guy like drove like a maniac. It
Like
was
40
crazy.
miles over the speed limit.
Yeah, like 50 miles an hour in a 25, just weaving in and out, honking at people. And they're all driving, like every shuttle driver is driving like this. So we're just like, where are we right now?
My
And
gosh.
again, we're all delirious. So we finally get to the hotel. It's fine. The cruise is awesome.
Yeah, that cruise was cool, you guys.
The cruise was a blast. It was really fun. But then, so we get off. Again, we're kind of like, how did that just happen? Like, that was awesome. Miami, we fly out to Chicago. That was fine. And I don't know if people listening to this will remember or not, but there was like a crazy snowstorm near the end of January that dumped like 2 feet of snow on Wisconsin in like a couple hours. So we luckily got to fly right through that. So we get to Chicago. The flight gets delayed, I think, by about an hour because of weather. Or no, the plane was not, they didn't have a pilot or something.
Yeah.
It was in like Alabama and needed to be in Atlanta and then had to come to Chicago. So it was already delayed. We finally get on, they de-ice the plane, yada, yada, yada. And we get about halfway to Milwaukee. It's a crazy
Like
turbulent.
we're in the air.
We are in the air.
Oh
It's
my
crazy
gosh.
turbulent. The pilot gets on the phone. Hey folks, so we're gonna have to turn this around. It's not safe for us to fly, and we're not able to land in Milwaukee
It's not safe to
because
land.
of how much snow there
Oh
is.
my gosh.
So we turn around midair, land back in Chicago.
And
Plain Whipsy
just
Yui.
like, and the thing is this turnaround felt like it took a year.
It did.
It was like
yeah.
after they went on the mic saying that we were turning around, it felt like the landing process to get back in Chicago took forever. And I was unwell. Like, by the time we landed, I'm like, I am not fucking flying.
Yeah.
Like, Ike and I literally took an Uber from Chicago to Milwaukee because I'm like, I'm not getting back on a plane right now.
Yeah,
Oh
and just to
my
like paint the picture a
God.
little bit more, this is like the tiny United Express flight that
Yeah.
smells like piss. And it's really cramped.
And this,
And
like,
it's like one seat on
people
each
are
side.
talking to me that are really old.
Oh,
they're
and
like, "How's
and
your
we were pissed.
parents?"
And we were pissed because it's such a small plane. We couldn't actually put our carry-ons above the seats, so we had to check all of it. So that was like $500 or something.
Oh my
that was a
gosh.
pain. The layover in Chicago from like while waiting to get to Milwaukee was already like 5 hours, like without any delays. So it was already long. And then like to bet on Michael's point, it's snowing so hard you can't see anything
Yeah, so
outside.
you-
So
you
have
have
no
no
clue.
gauge,
You have
yeah.
no idea. Oh, we're even like you could feel it was descending, but you're like I don't even know if we're close to Chicago. We could have been above the Milwaukee
Yeah.
airport for all we knew. So Michael and Ike, we land. They Uber. We get back in the air in like 30 minutes, and we're like, I guess it's okay. We
Yeah.
luckily landed safely in Milwaukee, but then we got our luggage. But it's the craziest highways I've ever seen. It was like 1.5 feet of
Oh my
snow on
gosh.
like major, like Highway 41, like major Milwaukee highways, and we had to drive back to Oshkosh in that with our rear wheel drive van.
Which
It-
is
How many
usually
hours
like
did
an
it take?
hour
Yeah,
trip. And
hour
I
and
think
a
it
half.
took, what,
4
4
hours.
hours?
4 hours.
We went 20 miles an hour on the highway from Milwaukee.
Fish
to
tailing all
Oshkosh.
over it. I did
Yeah.
not think we were gonna make it.
I'm literally
No
having
music.
like PTSD right now just
That
talking about it.
that
Like,
ended our
These guys are like
beautiful tour.
shaking over here. They're
I-
like,
Yeah.
reliving
doing
it.
so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not fun.
That was
So
our-
I don't know
I
if
think
that's
you
like
asked
a
us what our best
yeah,
memory
that's
of
not
tour
like a cool
was.
fun story from tour. But
You're
No,
like,
tour
fun
was
story. We
fantastic.
almost died on every transportation we took.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever talked about that like on a podcast or anything. That
No.
was the first time
That's
we talked about that
hilarious.
travel.
But the cruise itself was great.
It was awesome.
cruise was awesome.
Who else was on that? Who are some notable artists that were on
Neon
that?
Trees,
Oh my gosh.
American Authors, the band Lit, who plays My Own Worst Enemy,
Yeah.
Sister Hazel, Magic Giant.
Need to breathe.
Did you guys like
Need to
hang out
breathe.
with them?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah, like,
my
I have
gosh.
I have the lead singer of American Author's number now, and like he like gave us feedback on our next single. Like, it's sick.
You
Yeah.
guys,
I was-
that is so cool.
I was playing roulette with the lead singer of Lit for like 30 minutes, and I didn't even like. I walk in the casino at like noon, and he's playing. It was just him there. Like, there's only like 2 people at this table, and then he's like to me, "What band are you in?" I'm like, "The Astronomers." I'm like, "What about you?" He's like, "I'm in Lit." Oh, lit. So,
Awesome, dude.
so then we were talking, and the craziest thing about that was, you know, roulette, right? Where you bet on numbers.
I was going to
He's
say, is he
like-
putting money on red or money on black kind of guy?
Well, he's like to me, after like 10 minutes of playing with him or something, he's like, I always play the numbers 9 and 19 because that's my birthday. I'm like, shut up. That's my birthday too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like we
Wait,
figured
that's
out we have the same birthdays
Right.
through him like betting on
Through-
numbers at
yeah.
roulette. And this is like at noon on a cruise ship. And we're, you know, I've been listening to that song for like, everyone knows that song.
Yeah.
My own worst enemy. And it's just crazy. Yeah,
That
he's a
is
super
so
cool guy. And then a few
awesome.
days later, I see him on the boat. He's wearing an astronomer's hat and stuff. And
You
we're-
guys, that is so cool. I'm not
Yeah.
over that. Now when I hear that song, I'd be like, hey, his birthday's 9/19.
Yeah,
guys.
exactly. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is so cool. Damn.
Really cool
well,
guy.
you guys have an upcoming tour. I'll let you promote it. You want to talk about it? Where are we all headed?
We're going out west, so Denver,
Out
Colorado.
west. All right.
And then Seattle, Portland, Pasadena, San Francisco, and Phoenix. So it's gonna be a little 6-show run and last about 2 weeks. It's gonna be great.
Did you guys just decide West Coast? Like, let's do it?
Yeah,
or-
we've never been, and we've had a lot of like people saying like, "Come here."
Okay.
So far so good on ticket sales, and
I
can't
was
wait
going to
see
say, do you
people.
guys have a lot of streams from out west? I know you have them from
Yeah,
all
like-
over.
Yeah,
but-
we do.
Yeah, like Los Angeles and Denver are in our top 5.
I think
Awesome.
Seattle too.
Yeah,
Seattle's
Seattle's
there,
up there,
Seattle's
too.
in the top five.
That's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
cool.
Sweet.
Well, that'll be awesome. You guys looking forward to it? When do you leave?
June 15th or
16th.
16th, one of those. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah.
That is so exciting.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, you guys have a hot take prepared? You want to get into hot take section?
I do. Yeah.
You guys
How
want to
should we
join in, or do you
Let's do
don't
it.
have one?
Yeah, Ike texted me about this like
I made
30
sure
minutes
they were
ago.
well
so
prepared.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
Alright.
Well, I'll let you guys start. Hot take section. Let's hear it.
You
All right,
wanna
Ike.
start? Ike?
Sure, I'll
Okay.
start. All right. So I like to put mayo on hot dogs because mayo is good on anything. I actually tried one on a Dorito too, but
You tried mayo on a Dorito?
yeah, Ben was
Not
there.
even
Yeah.
like Chipotle mayo, too. Just straight
Just
up
Just
mayo.
regular.
mayo?
Okay, so
Straight
Josh
mayo.
got me on Hellman's mayo.
Wait, isn't
Instead
that like
of
the
what?
basic mayo?
Got
Yeah.
me on
Yeah,
Hellman's
yeah.
mayo. Like it's this
Wait, what?
obscure
I'll take
thing.
credit
Yeah.
for it, but
Yeah, no, you know, that's where I got it.
Okay.
That's where I got
Wait,
it.
so have you ever tried ranch on a hot dog? Like, what does that's so?
No.
You
no.
like you literally
Ranch-
prefer mayo over ketchup on a hot dog.
Well, mayo and ketchup, but it's just the
Both.
mayo part that's like kind of weird. But
That is
it's good.
so that is weird.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah, I
say-
don't know, Michael. You think it's weird, right? You were talking about it yesterday.
Well, I just said I think it's weird that it's like just plain mayo. Like it's not, like I love Chipotle,
Chipotle mayo is so
or like
good.
spicy like ranch mayo,
Yeah.
like or whatever it is. I don't know. But like just regular mayo, like I think I only put on like a chicken sandwich, like
Okay.
like with
Mhm.
bread.
I'm gonna sympathize with Ike here because and Ben and I guess Michael will know this. I used to work at Culver's, and you get so bored in the kitchen, and it's like slow at 9 o'clock, so you just like eat anything and you try anything. So we would try everything with
Thank you.
everything, and mayo was like consistently the best thing to dip, like pickles, fries,
That is
chicken
so
tenders, like
amazing.
oh, yeah, it's
burgers.
beautiful.
like whatever we would find, like cheese curds, like it was all
That gives the
better
same
in mayo,
energy
so.
of like when you're younger and you're like a kid and you're walking down the middle of the night like looking for something to eat. You're like, oh, mayo, like that looks shredded
Yeah.
cheese. That looks good. It's like an ingredients.
Mm.
Mayo's good though. It's consistently good on just everything. I haven't tried hot dogs, so I guess I can't say that, but we'll see.
Yes.
All right, Josh.
So I'm very much in the minority here because like Morgan Wallen is like the #1 country artist ever and a ton of streams, etc. But I really hate this trend of like trap, rap, electronic drums, and country music and rock music. I'm
Okay,
biased. I'm a drummer, but it drives me off the wall. I don't like it at
Are we
all.
talking like Old Town Road, kind of like?
No, not even that, because that's
hip-hop
like
country?
a rap song.
Like
What's
no.
the one on IXX?
Last night.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
I can
one
see
drives
that.
me insane. I don't know. At least for me, I like if I want to listen to country music, I want to listen to country music. If I want to listen to rap music, I want to listen to rap music. But like, I don't need this like weird.
Sound like such an
Like-
old
like-
fart.
Yeah, right. I sound 50, but I don't
Go
like.
back.
I don't know. I just don't like it.
I
That's my
respect it.
thing.
I'm like a huge country fan, and I agree with that to a point. I love the song Last Night, but there is a point that it's too much. It's too much of a combination, and it sounds terrible. And they try and make it sound good, especially like the rap. Like when they mix artists in country songs and they try to rap, or like a country artist tries to rap. I'm like, you have that twang. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
that organic country.
Yeah.
Like the natural, yeah.
Which I mean,
I
like what
kind of
you
agree.
like.
To a point, I agree.
Because I like some weird stuff, but that's one. And then like rock too. Like there's a bunch of like pop punk songs that have like these weird like hip hop beats, and I don't know. But yeah, that's my hot take.
I like it.
So my hot take is, and I'm definitely the minority in the band because I know you guys all like caffeine, but fuck caffeine. I don't like it.
Ben, I don't drink coffee. I agree with you.
Oh, you don't
I
either?
don't drink coffee.
I don't like soda, anything with caffeine.
Yeah,
Sometimes
same.
I
It's not like
need
I don't
it.
even. I don't hate it. I just don't need it. I don't like. It's not something I crave.
He made me a cup of coffee like a year or two ago.
I will say that was not a good one though, because it was like a dark roast, like it was the highest
Whatever it
caffeine
was,
content.
that was like my first caffeine intake in my life, basically.
So you've
and I
never
felt-
even had like a Starbucks something or another where it puts in that sugar that it might taste good.
Mm-mm. I just drink water and beer.
What
That's
about
it.
a bubbler?
No,
He doesn't like fruit.
no, I don't like fruit.
You
either.
don't like. You should have started
That's
with
the
that.
hot
I
take.
feel like that
Anything
is more
carbonated.
insane.
I don't
Yeah.
like. I don't like candy. Like
I don't
Anything
really like
fruity, you
candy
can't
either,
eat it.
but you don't like fruit?
Nothing
No.
fruity at all.
I don't like fruit. Like anything. I don't like gum. I don't like soda. I don't
What
like
do you
coffee.
like eat? Do you
Dude
have
makes
vegetables?
Chicken.
like a burger.
He's like, I
Steaks.
eat chili brats, 2 of them each morning. You saw it.
Brats, steaks, chicken.
Do you have veggies?
Rice. Yeah, I like
Wow.
veggies,
Doesn't eat
carrots,
'em.
corn.
I cannot believe that.
But
Like
back,
coffee can slide because I don't like coffee.
Yeah.
So like I'm on your side. Fruit.
yeah, I just
What
don't
the
like
hell?
it. It's just gross.
I think, Ben, you had a very bad first experience with caffeine, but I don't disagree with you when you say, like, it's really good if you're not reliant on caffeine. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm, like, reliant on it, but I definitely have something sort of caffeine, like, every day in the morning.
could probably
like-
use it right now. I'm pretty tired.
I was going to
but,
say, like, today, like, it's like we're about to hop on our meeting. Dude's, like, sleeping.
yeah.
Hey, he was up till 4. He was working.
He
He's
grinded
got that
his
night
You
shift.
want to
Mhm.
try this? Is caffeinated.
What's in it? What is it?
It's like.
Is that your
C4.
mud water?
Oh, C4 now.
No, you don't want to
It's
try that.
fruity.
It's fruity, yeah.
Yeah,
The mud
you
This
can't
water.
is the Starbucks.
What's
the
in that?
Starburst.
Isaac's just over here getting trashed during
No.
that. Isaac's like, I'm not gonna remember anything I said.
No,
I'm
there's,
kidding.
there's
I'm kidding.
nothing in there like that, but I don't know. You don't want to try it?
No, I'm good.
All right, Michael, it's your hot take.
Mine's not, like, crazy, but maybe some people will think so. For all the fellow Midwesterners, Quick Trip breakfast night and day over McDonald's.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
I have people who come to me and say, "Oh my gosh, McDonald's breakfast." I'm like, first of all, you're not up before 10:30 a.m. and then it's gone.
also,
second of
that
all-
is brutal. Why
That
don't they
is-
have all day breakfast
What
anymore?
I've been preaching
bad,
that.
Yeah.
poor marketing.
Yeah,
too bad.
they
Pitch
they
from
promoted that
McDonald's.
for so long, and then I went for a while because I'm like, oh, they have all day breakfast. Like, I want a breakfast, Sammy. Not there.
So yes, or
It's
2
not
days
even-
ago, I was up before 10:30 a.m. because I had to take the van.
I
in
feel
to
like we
get
should
new
clap for
tires.
that. I feel like that
Yeah.
never happened. Woohoo.
And I was in Fond du Lac taking the van in to get tires, and I'm like, oh, I can actually get McDonald's breakfast right now. I was so excited. I got some hash browns. I got like one of their like biscuit things, and totally blows Quick Trip out of the water for
What?
sure.
I
Like,
actually
No.
I agree with
Yep.
Michael. I think Quick Trip's
No.
better. More of a variety. You go in and you feel like a kid in a candy shop. You're like, they have breakfast
Yeah.
sandwiches. They have those chicken sandwiches. They really have
Yeah.
everything there.
It is
Condiments.
just night and day because you can hop into Quick Trip at any time of the day and get your sausage, egg, and cheese croissant. But you have to get up in the morning and get a subpar dry bagel and egg, and it's just like there's not enough to make me choose McDonald's and wait in line and get it over Quick Trip.
I kind of I think I agree.
I will say the Quick Trip chicken and waffle sandwiches are insane, but it's
Okay,
rare.
well.
It's rare to find them.
It's the variety that they have that just is so good.
yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
amazing.
it's good. I still get it.
And you
I'll-
can just grab
yeah.
it. You can just grab it. You don't
Yeah.
have to
You
like
see
get
it
up
right
there
away.
and get the pressure of ordering it, and then after you
Exactly.
order, oh shit.
Do you
have
think
to go
you
at the head.
guys being on tour and relying so much on gas station food has an impact on that, or
I think we're gonna try to get away from it as much as we can. It's just really hard.
yeah,
Like we want to eat better on tour because like you can fall into a slippery slope.
yeah, no, that
Very-
makes sense.
Very underrated part of tour, at least for me, who's someone who hasn't traveled a ton, is like trying area gas stations.
Yes.
It
Yeah,
was very cool to
Yes.
like this is the Quick Trip of the East
Oh
Coast.
my gosh, or like the Casey's or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, my
Yeah.
roommates and I have done quite a few road trips, and like
Casey's is
you don't
so
even
bad.
realize it.
Bucky's, right? That's what we're.
I mean, it was
We-
Bucky's. We were at one, but
I,
Yeah.
there's a few different ones. Yeah, and going through different states, you're like, oh, this is so their quick trip.
Do you have a hot take, or is that not something you do?
No, I do have a hot take. I'll go off your food ones. I don't think Caesar dressing is good. I don't know if that's
Oh, we just had that last night.
Was that on the
That chicken Caesar salad. Really, that's like the most probably classic one you can get.
I don't hate it, and I'll eat it, and I had like a little bit of it last night. Like I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's as good as people hype it up to be. Like if I want a salad, I'll give me some like raspberry vinaigrette or like a little summer
Okay.
salad. Like Caesar just doesn't taste good.
See,
I've
I
never
don't-
had it. I wouldn't know.
I don't
eat
like-
salads.
You've never
ranch.
even had Caesar dressing?
I don't think
No.
I've had it either.
Did
I
you
don't-
just say you don't like sauce either?
No, I don't eat salads.
Oh, well, that makes
So,
sense. I feel like that was a given at this point.
Yeah.
Really. I don't like ranch on the salad, and
Okay.
that's so common. But like, I think it's
Yeah.
better dipped in like other things that are more like salty and
I
like
agree.
I love dipping ranch in like a pizza.
Yep, I agree. I agree
Oh my
with that.
gosh.
Very good. Damn. Well, that's all we
Yeah.
have for hot takes. Before we end the episode, do you guys have any last words you want to say to the viewers?
Oh, I mean, we hope to see you at a show. There's going to be a lot of local shows coming up soon, and also all over the country. So, come hang with us, and hopefully we can put on a good time.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
a party.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And what would you guys say to anyone who's out there who maybe wants to do their own thing like you guys are doing right now and just don't know how to, maybe are scared to?
Ooh, well, we shout this from the rooftops.
Yes, here we
Literally,
go.
do not focus on gear. You do not need expensive gear to make hit radio songs. Don't focus on, going to college or like figuring out like, oh, is this industry standard? There is no standard. Watch YouTube videos, figure it out as you go. Like you're gonna have the most fun doing it that way versus having someone say like, this is the textbook way of doing things. Figure it out as you go, and watch videos to like find your sound.
Mhm. And don't change your sound to what sells. Like,
Yeah.
passionately find your sound and like go with that. Be
Yeah.
unique.
That's awesome. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
Thanks for
Love
having
having
us.
the astronomers. And as always, everybody, remember to own who you are, mean what you say, and whatever you do, do it with emphasis, baby. I will see you next Tuesday. You guys know that how I end each episode, the jingle I end each episode with is your guys's? Or it's one
Oh,
of
that's
yours?
right.
Ben, I think it's
That's right.
yours.
Ike and I worked
Oh,
on
yeah,
that
that's
until
right.
like 7
Yeah.
a.m. like a couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How I end each episode is a little jingle that these two put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Like
You guys are kind of
like
awesome.
music?
It was a from the start instrumental for Kid Indigo, and he didn't use it. So we're like, oh, this is a perfect jingle.
No way. I'm gonna have to. Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can wait.
noticed.
Do a little
Yeah, I never
beatbox for
noticed
it
that.
for me. Do you guys remember how it goes?
It's
It's like two.
Something like that.
That's pretty good.
That's like the
Yeah.
drum
Hey.
part,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah, it's-
there's so much more to it. You
Yeah,
might
it
as
was
well,
so-
you might as well roll it.
Might as
Yeah.
well. All right.